Sure we can't take a detour so I can fix that elevator?
Refilling water tanks with internal condensers. Encroaching! Sanitation and maintenance job fulfilled.
Here's a right cozy spot for a desk.
Basic contaminant detected.
not death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Make it dirty, Sam cleans it up.
Nice one! Everyone all right? We're pretty good at this. Maybe we can make her see reason. Convince her to change. People can change, right?
Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Do 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 do. Ba 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 ba.
Whoa. Look at the size of this thing. Like some kind of slumbering beast.
give you one thing, little weasel. You are relentless. I did everything in my power to stop you, yet here you stand before me, offensively alive. Just so we're clear, if you intend to restart this machine, you'll have to go through me. I'll give you one thing, little weasel. You are relentless. I did everything in my power to stop you, yet here you stand before me, offensively alive. Just so we're clear, if you intend to restart this machine, you'll have to go through me. I'm done talking. Cooperation, compromise, consensus. It resolves nothing. All that remains is action and inaction. Kill me, or let me destroy this place. If you believe this will be that simple, you haven't been paying attention. I can no more walk away than I can voluntarily cease breathing. I will die before I let my empty-headed daughter resurrect Adrena Time. Do you understand? There is no working with Spacer's Choice. You work for them. If you refuse, they sell your contract to a rival firm staffed by your enemies, or seize your housing and turn you out onto the street. And if you've really irritated them, they simply kill you. Sincerely, I wish you luck. I suspect you're just about the only person in this colony who believes that's possible. Besides that madman, Wells. Judging by his wanted poster, he's always lived on the tail end of the sanity bell curve. He has it right. The board doesn't care for Halcyon. They'll do anything, and use anyone, to see their ends met.
SAM units do whatever it takes to get the job done, including but not limited to eradicating filth from every corner of the colony.
She has no intention of curing the Marauders. She's only going to make more of them. Adrena Time is addictive. It's poison. The only way they can perfect it is by making it more irresistible.
thought we were negotiating, Captain. I don't know about you, but I ain't ever been moved to help someone who threatens me.
The only way you're touching this reactor is over my dead body. And I am not afraid to die, Captain. Very well. I'd like to ask you something before we end this farce. I think I'm due that much, at least. Uncertainties still gnawing at you, Captain? And Scuttle, the only chance I might ever have to fix the things I've done? Until you came around, I still had hope I might crack it. That I could develop a cure for Marauders and save Halcyon from the brink. It was wishful thinking. Pure indulgence. There is no cure, Captain. And only ruin awaits Halcyon.
Don't let grime and filth ruin your day. Employ a Sam to purify the scum away.
Who would that be? No one knows the Adrenatime formula better than I do. Even Jasper's brilliant mind couldn't crack it. And now he's gone off to find solace in a new drug.
At least Mr. Wells is trying. This lady might have some good ideas, but all she's done is hide.
Admirable, Captain. Truly. But you're holding the wrong front. Adrenatime is not your battlefield. If you want to save Halcyon from itself, you do it from a boardroom, with a pen or a gun.
Even if you manage to change the laws and what all, the board could just ignore them. Ain't no one holding them to account except themselves.
I'm afraid I was not entirely in my right mind at the time. After Spacer's Choice released the unstable version of Adrenatime and we began to see its effect on the public, my hand was forced. They weren't going to stop, so neither would I. Perhaps it's more accurate to say that was the only time I ever truly saw things clearly. They did. I don't dispute that. But I weighed that hurt against the greater injury of Adrenatime and decided my actions were acceptable. And I did warn Jasper. He'd come to regret testing on primals. You've plumbed all the sordid depths of Gorgon. You know how many lives my work destroyed. And still you want to revive it. Why? You know that's not true, and still you say it. Either you are astonishingly naive, gravely misled, or a cynical opportunist. There is not a solution to every problem, and you can't just will one to appear out of thin air. Some things cannot be fixed, Captain. Adrenatime, this colony, me. Find peace in that if you can. I doubt you'll find it anywhere else. But enough. You didn't come here for a lecture. Let's get this charade over with.
Here they come! Everyone all right? faces a choice, right won't stop him from doing wrong.
Reminder, unit modifications performed by unauthorized technicians
You've done it! The Gorgon asteroid is under my control. The Ambrose family curse is broken, and my legacy will rise from the ashes in triumph. Thank you, Captain. We're going to change the Halcyon colony. This time for the better. As for Mother, what's done is done. I grieved for her long ago. The woman who perished on Gorgon was only her shadow. Ah, yes, of course. To the future of Adrenatime. May fortune and favor course through the veins of Halcyon. I haven't forgotten your payment. Here's a little extra for your discretion.
I really hope you made the right decision, boss.
I'm still not sold on this, but suppose the only thing we can do now is hope they get it right the second time.
Of course, my gratitude goes out to your crew as well. Equal contributors all, I'm sure. This has been a long time coming, Captain. I can finally get on with my life, and the colony can begin to heal. Where do you go from here? What heroic challenge will the intrepid Captain of the Unreliable conquer next? Scandalous. I expect nothing less. You have a knack for aiming your sights high and shooting blind. We have that much in common. Good luck out there, Captain. I would wish you safe travels, but I do so admire how you rush headlong into danger. Keep it that way, won't you? You're welcome to stay as long as you wish. It's nice to have visitors for a change.
We've arrived at Ambrose Manor.
Stay on your guard, Captain. I think she's expecting us.
Jig is up, Cap. I'd wager we're in for it.
Nothing good ever come out of a place like this.
Didn't I warn you not to set foot in here until the job was done? You should have listened to my advice. There's nothing to discuss. I can fix Adrenatime without you, and certainly without Mother. You wasted your time coming here, and worse, you wasted mine. But I won't let anything stand in the way of progress. You surprise me, Captain. Once we fix the chemistry of Adrenatime, the Marauder problem will simply take care of itself.
But a lot of folks are gonna suffer in the meantime. And you don't even know if it'll work.
Yeah, fight horrific science with horrific science. That's always worked out in the past.
The days of the old Adrenatime are numbered, and Marauders are bound for extinction. Insane people addicted to drugs are Mother's problem. Am I to be held accountable for her mess?
It ain't about who's accountable. Those people are hurting, and they're hurting others. You could help them.
Besides, Mother is determined to ruin everything she touches. First Adrenatime, then our family, and now my ambition. She never gave me a chance, forbade it. I see no reason why she deserves a second one.
And what about you, ma'am? Don't you deserve a chance to fix your troubles with her? Don't you both deserve that?
She sure as hell doesn't. But you can still give her one. That choice is on you now.
Mother never let me anywhere near R&D. I was always her incompetent little brat. Stand down? I think not, Captain. People want to buy clean drugs, and I want to sell them. Under my leadership, Adrenatime will live up to its promise, unlike certain mothers. Do you know why it was a disaster? Rushed production, cut corners, and a failure to communicate. Mother's mistakes, not mine. My drug will be the pride and joy of the Ambrose family. And if we pick up where Gorgon left off, then the human testing phase is well ahead of schedule. Farewell, Captain. If it wasn't already obvious, you're fired.
You've finished it, Captain. You've put Gorgon down once and for all. I only wish that Minnie had seen reason. The good we could have done together. Join me for a toast in the drawing room. I do believe you're due a reward.
After all we've seen of this lady, are we sure this ain't a trap?
Hand to law, Captain. I mean you no harm. No, it most certainly is not. Quit fooling around and meet me upstairs. I'll have a drink waiting.
This unit can help itself.
Captain, I believe a celebration is in order. The Gorgon project is dead, and we are not.
Well, I'm always up for round two.
Speak up, Captain. I can't hear a thing when you mumble like that. To time, then. And burying the past beneath 10 tons of toxic rubble. Shall we toast? May they meet the justice of the blade, bullet, or pen. Whichever is most expedient. It's funny. When Spacer's Choice released Adrenatime to the public and began the Marauder crisis, and I sabotaged all the Gorgon facilities, I thought that was the end for me. Then you came along and changed everything. I find myself at loose ends now, Captain. What happens next? I'll gladly humor one or two for the executioner of Gorgon. Before I explain, there's a critical detail you must understand. Halcyon is in the midst of a slow-moving crisis, one that will not improve on its own. The board knows this, but they're not lifting a finger to address it. In the absence of their leadership, I thought I could bridge the gap. So I tried to create a drug to expand our workers' minds and improve their bodies, help them work harder, longer, and smarter. With everyone at their best, I thought the colony might be able to innovate itself out of this hole. Don't be preposterous. Eugenics is bunk science, a charlatan's game. Snake oil for a pathetic elite who want to believe that they've earned their privileges and that the poor have earned their suffering. My work is nothing like theirs. Don't tar it with their brush. If Spacer's Choice had given me time to perfect Adrenatime, I know I could have done it. My drug could have saved Halcyon. I wouldn't expect you to understand my life, just as I can't begin to understand yours. I am as circumstance has required me to be. But I don't deny your point, Captain. I craved the glory and virtue of success. When you learn how to resist the pull of the beasts at the root of your nature, do let me know. Was there anything else you wanted to discuss before I bid you farewell? Down there, on Gorgon. It was, but I had my work to keep me company. Work, and a great many number of ghosts. I was obsessed with the notion that I might find a cure for the Marauders, that I could right the tremendous wrong we'd done to them. I think I was a little mad. Perhaps I still am. I wanted to do it all on my own, to fix everything myself. But the problem of the Marauders was too complex for me to solve. And with Gorgon gone, it will remain that way. Not for lack of trying. I had some close calls in the early years. But Marauders aren't especially observant. Easy enough to tiptoe past with practice. I certainly did. Spacer's Choice's negligence sent Halcyon into a tailspin, and they refused to pull Adrenatime from the market to stop it. They forced my hand. I ended the project the only way I could, by destroying everything. I began by shredding all of the personnel files in the Office of Creative Incubation. Clarence was so alarmed by my barbarism, he forgot to call the corporate guard. All his precious numbers and all their precious rows. I should have set fire to them. I released the test subjects from human inquiry and auditing. The ghastly things we did to those people. Marion was screaming, I think, though by this point, my memory's hazy. Everything had gone a bit red. My blood was up, you know. If anyone had dared to stop me, I would have snapped them in two. Compound harvesting, enrichment, and molecularization. My second home. Well, my first home, really. Jasper had been doing some personal work there after hours. Something about primals and mirror neurons. I set the primals free. They tore through the lab like it was made of wet toilet paper. I know. I remember. I wasn't myself by then. Grief and horror had taken me to a dark place. Anyway, that's how it happened. Gorgon's first fall. It's not a pretty tale, but the truth rarely is. I had faith a strapping hero would come along someday and do it for me. I'm joking, obviously. You were a bolt from the blue. Or the black, as it were. Two reasons, actually. I couldn't bear to kill so many of my staff, even though our work killed exponentially more colonists. I didn't want to give up on my research, even after all it had cost us. In those early days of the Marauder epidemic, I still believed I could fix Adrenatime. As time went on, I became convinced I could cure the Marauders. But once again, Spacer's choice has forced my hand. This time through my daughter. And I have to let that dream die too. He was? Oh, this is fascinating. I'll have to get in touch with him when things cool down. Children do not remain so forever. She grew up, and we grew apart. I could have tried harder to reach her, to support her. I know. But I confess, I always found my work more engaging than child-rearing. And Minnie and I had so little in common. In the end, my distance seemed a blessing. Oh, I wouldn't lay all the blame on her. I was her mother, after all. She got her worst traits from me. What else might I answer for you before you go, Captain? Of course. Anything else? Or shall I let you see yourself out? Maybe I'll find a handsome little bolt hole out there in the aether, and endeavor to keep a low profile, as they say. Maybe I'll pick up a soothing, useless hobby, like watercolor painting. Spacer's Choice will want to take their turn at revenge, and I'd rather not be within reach when they do. I'll take it a day at a time. Run when I have to, hide when I can. There's no glory in it, but I'm eager to put those days behind me. Where will the future lead you, Captain? I'd expect nothing less from the hero of Gorgon. In any case, I do believe this is the end. Law willing, Adrena time is dead for good, and the Marauders will die out with it. Goodbye, Captain, and thank you again. May the stellar wind be ever at your back.
I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that the punishment for trespassing is execution. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this time. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a transmission from the prison's docking authority now.
Attention. Your ship is not...
Captain, I would not recommend this course of action.
Protocol is important, sir. The starter is the...
Transmission term... How can I be... Take care.
Infestation in protein. Scoured with prejudice. Monsters. Clean up the competition. Resuming passive mode. Analysis of evidence. Wrong tool for the job.
The board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I breathe. Push on, Ardat!
Neutralize
walking into a prison. They lock me up, I'm liable to kill everyone trying to get back out.
Area sanitization assessment. The Labyrinth on Tartarus. Task classification. Easy peasy. Would you like Sam to tidy up this area? Waiting for confirmation command. You make it dirty, Sam cleans it up. Crew member requires maintenance. Putting trash in its rightful place for more than 70 years. Sam cleans it up. Cleaning cycle complete.
Let's go, troops. Stellar base. Counter on us.
Centrifuge mode activated. Infestation encroaching! Toxin neutralized!
And we're alive.
Let's go, troops. Stellar base counting on us.
Well, look.
Interactive.
When I'm not in your way, you dullard. You talk to me. You want. Besides.
The captain needs our help. So, get in there and fight!
Centrifuge mode activated. Pollutants purified.
SAM units never lay down.
Sanitation and maintenance job filled. SAM on the job. Operate. Don't forget to wash your wounds. Leakage detected.
Well.
Enter.
Watch out! Bring him down! All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, get in there and fight!
To shreds, you say?
Object is tuned to be backwards.
Perfection!
Time to collect the body.
Gotta reload! I'm taking cover! No pressure!
I need backup.
Will be the stage. Dedication and maintenance job fulfilled.
Nice hit!
Difficult job ahead? Consider equipping a pack of Sam's Special Solvent Stain-Out Remover. It's ruthless on residual blood splatter.
Take a breath, my folks. Once we're up there, I suspect we ain't gonna have time to stop shooting.
Captain, you've... Typical. The Force. I should... I'm not leaving. In that...
Volume now.
System.
One order of second fan coming up. decaying bodies in the area.
System.
That will really sting. And now to South Africa. Wrong tool for the job. Clean up the competition. Substance is resistant to corona. All germs and contaminants have been neutralized.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough. What? Break into the most heavily guarded facility in the most hostile world in Halcyon? No, I have absolutely no idea how you did it. You're a goddamn miracle worker. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated. Theatrics. Merciful law, I wish I were exaggerating. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message.
So we've...
Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous... You won't hear a word of disagreement from me.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers, schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Even the Gorgon asteroid, though a distant enigma to most of Halcyon, felt the aftershocks of your actions. The destroyed Adrenatime synthesizer became a symbol of the board's cruelty and a rallying point for Wells and his scientists as they sought to build a more humane, ethical Halcyon. They cleared the dead from Gorgon's laboratories and repurposed them to aid in the crucial work of solving the colony's nutrition crisis. Gorgon, which had once sown death and destruction across Halcyon, became a source of hope and renewal. The Gorgon Project's final explosive end was bittersweet for Olivia Ambrose. She wandered the colony's fringes alone, searching for others like her who despised the board and meant to destroy them. In time, she found Phineas Wells and his cadre of scientists, and she joined them in their efforts to save Halcyon. For a while, she even knew an uneasy peace. But for all that, Olivia found purpose in Wells' project. She was always haunted by the memory of her daughter, Minnie, who hadn't lived to see the better world they were building. She never did forgive herself for the horror her work had wrought on Halcyon, but she remembered fondly the daring captain who'd put an end to it at last. In spite of everything, the Gorgon asteroid remained a sobering reminder of the potential for progress and disaster in humanity's most ambitious efforts. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony. After all he'd seen and once the matter with the stories of her adventures, as hard as the SAM unit that accompanied you, Minister Clark was asked for Dr. Phineas Wells. He eventually, Dr. Wells was, in the end, Dr. Wells, today Halcyon has stabilized. And what about you? The unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon. You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus. No one knows what's happened to Earth.